Have you ever found yourself stuck in a conflict, unsure of how to navigate your way out? Imagine the scenarios: a heated disagreement with a friend, a clash at work, a family squabble that spiraled out of control. We've all been there, haven't we? Conflict is a part of life, an uncomfortable yet inevitable piece of our human experience. But it's not the conflicts themselves that define us, it's how we resolve them. Whether it's a disagreement with a friend, a clash with a co-worker, or a dispute with a family member, we all experience conflicts, but how we resolve them can make all the difference. Imagine yourself in a heated argument with a close friend. Picture this: you're sitting across from your friend, both of you are at the brink of tears, voices raised, hearts pounding. You've been friends for years, shared countless laughs and tears, and now you're caught in a whirlwind of disagreement. Let's say the conflict is about a shared project you're both passionate about. You believe in one approach, and your friend is adamant about another. It's not a petty squabble about who gets to lead, but a deep-rooted disagreement about the direction of the project. As the argument unfolds, you both present your cases. You're armed with facts and figures, your friend with testimonials and anecdotes. The air is thick with tension and frustration. You're both so invested in your perspectives that it feels like an insurmountable mountain stands between you. Despite your best efforts, the conversation spirals. It's not just about the project anymore. It's about who's right and who's wrong. It's about which one of you cares more, who's more committed. It's about winning, not resolving. You can feel your heart thumping in your chest, your breath coming in short, sharp gasps. You're starting to say things you might regret later. The same goes for your friend. The argument is no longer a discussion, it's a battlefield, and you're both losing. The once warm and inviting room now feels cold and hostile. You can see the hurt in your friend's eyes, and you know they see the same in yours. But neither of you is backing down. The argument has escalated and both of you are upset. So what do you do now? How do you navigate this maze of hurt feelings, harsh words, and heated emotions? How do you turn this battleground back into a safe space where both of you can express your thoughts and feelings without fear of judgment or rejection? That, my dear listeners, is the question we will be exploring in the next few minutes. So stay tuned as we delve into the process of conflict resolution. The argument has escalated and both of you are upset. What do you do now? The first step in resolving any conflict is to calm down and take a step back. Now that may sound simple, but in the heat of the moment, it's often easier said than done. When conflict arises, it's normal for our emotions to run high. We might feel angry, frustrated, or even hurt. But it's essential to remember that reacting immediately, while we're still in the throes of these strong emotions, can often lead to more harm than good. Picture this: you're in the middle of a heated disagreement. Emotions are flaring and words are flying. You're on the defensive, and your natural instinct is to fight back. But what if you paused and took a step back instead? What if you gave yourself the opportunity to calm down and collect your thoughts? When we're calm, we're in a better position to communicate effectively. Our thoughts become clearer, and we're less likely to say something we might regret later. So how do we calm down amidst a conflict? Well, there are a few strategies you can employ. Firstly, try deep breathing. Just a few deep breaths can help lower your heart rate and bring your stress levels down. Another technique is to count to 10 slowly in your mind. This simple act can help you regain control over your emotions, giving you a moment to get perspective. Lastly, if the situation allows it, step away from the conflict for a few moments. This physical distance can help create emotional distance, allowing you to calm down and think more clearly. Remember, it's not about avoiding the conflict. It's about giving yourself the space to handle it more effectively. By taking a moment to calm down, you can assess the situation objectively, understand the other person's perspective, and think of a solution that benefits everyone involved. So the next time you find yourself in a conflict, remember to take a deep breath, count to 10, or step away if you can. By calming down, you can think clearly and approach the conflict rationally rather than emotionally. And that, my friends, is the first step towards effective conflict resolution. Once calm, it's time to communicate and understand each other's perspectives. This is the second step in the process of conflict resolution. It's not just about speaking your mind, it's also about listening and trying to understand where the other person is coming from. This step is all about empathy and understanding. You see, communication is a two-way street. It's not enough to simply express your thoughts and feelings. You also need to listen to the other person. to understand their viewpoint, their feelings, and their needs. To communicate effectively, first remember to speak clearly and calmly. Use I statements to express your feelings without blaming or criticizing the other person. For example, instead of saying, "You make me feel ignored," say, "I feel ignored when you don't listen to what I'm saying." Next, listen actively. This means not just hearing the words, but also paying attention to the emotions behind them. Try to understand the other person's feelings and perspective. Don't interrupt or argue. Just listen. And remember, it's not about who is right or wrong. It's about understanding each other. So avoid getting defensive or making assumptions. Instead, ask questions to clarify what the other person is saying and to show that you're trying to understand. Once you've both expressed your feelings and perspectives, try to find common ground. Look for a solution that meets both your needs. It might involve compromise, or it might involve finding a completely new approach. And finally, remember that conflict resolution is a process. It might take time. It might involve several conversations. But each conversation is a step forward. Each conversation helps to build understanding, empathy, and respect. By communicating clearly, listening actively, and seeking to understand, you can resolve conflicts effectively. You can turn conflict into an opportunity for growth, for learning, and for building stronger relationships. Understanding each other's perspectives can lead to a solution that satisfies both parties. So, keep communicating, keep listening, and keep seeking to understand. Because in the end, understanding is the key to resolving conflicts. With understanding comes the solution. These words are a beacon of hope, a promise of resolution when navigating the tumultuous seas of conflict. With the first two parts of our conflict resolution process under our belt, we're now equipped to dive into the final step, finding a solution. Imagine you're in a maze. The walls are high and the paths are winding. The first two steps of our process have given you the map and compass to navigate this maze. You've identified the conflict, understood the other party's perspective, and now it's time to find the exit, the solution that satisfies both parties. Finding a solution isn't about declaring a winner or loser. It's about reaching a compromise that respects the needs, feelings, and desires of both parties involved. It's about putting the relationship above the problem and creating a win-win situation. So how do we do this? Firstly, brainstorm together. Encourage open communication and creativity. No idea is too big, too small, or too outlandish. Remember, the aim is to find common ground, and sometimes that requires thinking outside the box. Secondly, be flexible. Rigidity can often lead to deadlock. Be open to adjusting your expectations and making concessions. This doesn't mean you're surrendering or losing, it means you're prioritizing the relationship over the issue at hand. Thirdly, maintain respect throughout. Even when you're knee-deep in the process of finding a solution, remember to uphold the dignity and worth of the other party. This will foster a positive environment conducive to problem-solving. Finally, once a solution has been agreed upon, make sure it's clear and understood by both parties. Misunderstandings can lead to further conflicts, so it's essential to clarify all the details and ensure everyone is on the same page. By finding a solution that satisfies both parties, you can resolve the conflict and maintain your relationship. Remember, conflict is not the end of the road, but rather a chance for growth, understanding, and deeper connection. So embrace the process, and you'll emerge stronger and wiser on the other side. Let's revisit the process of conflict resolution. Conflict is a natural part of life. It's woven into our very fabric, appearing in our personal relationships, our professional relationships, and even our relationship with ourselves. But the key to navigating these turbulent waters is understanding the steps to effective conflict resolution. So, let's take a moment to recap what we've learned. Firstly, we explored the importance of understanding and acknowledging the conflict. This is a vital first step, as it lays the groundwork for everything that follows. We must accept that a conflict exists, and we must be willing to face it head-on. Next, we discussed the process of identifying the underlying issues. This is where we dig deep, peeling back the layers to reveal what's truly at the heart of the conflict. It's about getting to the root cause, not just dealing with the symptoms. Following this, we moved on to expressing and sharing our feelings and perspectives. Communication is key in this stage. It's about being open, honest, and respectful, even when the conversation is tough. It's about listening just as much as it is about speaking. After that, we delved into the stage of brainstorming solutions. This is where creativity comes into play. It's about thinking outside the box and exploring a range of possible solutions, not just going for the first thing that comes to mind. Finally, we looked at the process of agreement and follow-up. This is where the rubber meets the road. It's about making a commitment to the resolution and then sticking to it. It's about holding ourselves accountable and ensuring the conflict doesn't resurface in the future. Remember, conflict is inevitable, but how you handle it can make all the difference. So, embrace these steps. Take them, use them, and let them guide you towards a more peaceful and harmonious existence. Because at the end of the day, it's not about avoiding conflict, it's about knowing how to resolve it. Conflict resolution is a valuable skill that can improve your relationships and overall quality of life. Imagine navigating through life's challenges with grace, understanding, and empathy. Envision your relationships blossoming as you apply these steps we've discussed, fostering harmony and mutual respect. Let's make this vision a reality. Practice these steps, observe the change, and share your experiences. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to Soulful Serenity for more insightful videos every week.